This video contains spoilers for Andor Season 2, Episodes 7 through 9. If you have not watched them and do not want to be spoiled, please stop watching this video now and come back later after you've watched those episodes. This video was inspired by this week's releases, and I don't want to ruin what I feel is some of the best Star Wars television programming we have seen yet. In this video, I am going to examine how Marvel portrayed the Empire in the expanded universe in contrast to what was revealed in Andor. You have been warned. The Galactic Empire in Andor. In the most recent episodes of Andor, the Galactic Empire is exercising its dominance over a planet in an overt manner for the first time. The Empire has committed smaller atrocities up to this point, as evident by the existence of pockets of resistance, but it is now wielding its powerful Imperial Security Bureau to mislead the population of the galaxy while simultaneously subjugating an entire planet. It has fomented a local uprising on Gorman to provide cover for their real purpose, the extraction of vital resources from the planet's mantle for the construction of the Death Star. This revolt is manipulated by the ISB and broadcast to the citizens of the galaxy, garnering sympathy for the plight of the Empire, which was simply providing security to their diplomats. At least that is how the majority of the galaxy sees it, but there is a small but growing rebellion which knows otherwise. You have to remember, the Death Star has not destroyed a planet with billions of innocent people yet. The Gorman operation is the largest Imperial act of brutality to date, and the Empire, through the ISB, largely controls the narrative. All of this brings up the question of how was the Empire portrayed in other media back when the original trilogy was being released? We didn't have the benefit of 11 movies, a dozen television shows, and countless novels. All we really had were a couple of movies, Marvel comic books, newspaper strips, and a single novel, Splinter of the Mind's Eye. The Han Solo novels largely avoided the Empire, so they can't be counted. I want to look at how Marvel portrayed the Empire. Space Nazis. George Lucas based the Galactic Empire on Nazis, and Marvel provided plenty of examples of Imperial personnel acting like space Nazis throughout the run. The first time we see Imperials after the original movie adaptation is in Star Wars number 18, where Commander Strom is pursuing our heroes to the wheel. He steps all over Simon Grayshade's authority in his ambitions to capture or kill our heroes. Commander Strom is just the first in a long list of ambitious and unscrupulous officers that includes Captain Trail from Star Wars number 49, who schemed to overthrow the rightful rulers of the planet Velmor, Captain Treese from Star Wars number 56, who doubled Tibana gas production on Cloud City so he can skim the extra profits for himself, and Admiral Geel from Star Wars number 60, who was overseeing the delivery of the captured Tazeel, a sentient alien that possessed the ability to boost communications to the Imperial homeworld. There are definitely other Imperial officers who appear in the pages of Marvel Comics, but none as brutal as Captain Cato, the Empire's tactical genius for the Gorman operation seen in Andor. The Imperials in Marvel Comics are bad, sure, but mostly shown as comically bad. Many are fodder for Darth Vader to command and portrayed as inept. Captain Cato is ruthless and even sacrifices his own troops to further the Empire's ambitions. There is nothing comical about his actions. The Alderaan Factor. For the most part, a large part of Marvel's original run relies on the Empire's destruction of Alderaan by the Death Star in the first movie to define the depravity of the Empire. That single act was also the only incident we see in the original trilogy that helps define the Empire's evilness. Yes, Imperial stormtroopers do kill Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, but we don't really know how that went down. Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader clearly exhibit their villainy, but when we see Imperials in both The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, they are fighting our heroes or the rebellion, not performing egregious acts against citizens of the galaxy. We mostly rely on what we were told by the heroes and that original incident with Alderaan. Andor is uniquely showing us how the Empire looks through the eyes of non-combatants. One of the more heinous incidents is depicted in Star Wars number 63. In that issue, the city of Chinsasa is raised by Imperial forces on the planet Shalivane for the sole purpose of providing a background for the Imperial agent Shira Brie. While it is not a planet, it is an extremely vicious act by the Empire. Imperial factory planets. The very existence of the wheel shows that many citizens of the Empire were still free to roam the galaxy to pursue business and pleasure. Unfortunately, that was not the case for citizens who lived on Imperial factory planets. Where the Empire brought in external machinery and automation to extract the resources from the planet Gorman, on factory worlds, the Galactic Empire used the local populations as slaves. I'm guessing they learned it was cheaper to use the natives instead of automation, allowing them to redirect resources to other projects like building space-based weapons and fleets of warships. There are hundreds of these planets, and Princess Leia visits one such planet called Mandalore in Star Wars No. 30. They are modeled after the dystopian future depicted in George Orwell's 1984 novel. On these planets, Imperial forces control every aspect of a native's life, including when they work, eat, and sleep, and what news they consume. Leia is on Mandalore to visit an old childhood instructor of hers, Arn Harada. Unfortunately, Baron Tag was on the planet to check up on the systems Tag Industries provided to the Empire, and he is able to disrupt her plans. Because the Empire has total control over the population when the Baron asks for help on capturing Leia, the workers are incapable of acting. After Leia escapes the planet, Governor Corwith wants to kill Arn Harada, but the Baron reminds him that if he did so, he would be instilling doubts in the workers about the news they are fed. For Star Wars, this is a dark story which greatly left an impression on my young mind when I first read it. It is unfortunate Marvel never followed up on it. I know the rebels had other things to deal with, but the condition the workers on these factory planets lived in are bleak. Even a follow-up story or two after the Empire fell, showing how these workers reintegrated into the galaxy, would have been welcome. Escalation. I wonder if, given time, the fate of Mandalore is what Emperor Palpatine had in store for most inhabitant planets in the galaxy. We are given a hint of what the Empire had in mind in Star Wars No. 74 through 76. Our heroes are visiting the water planet Escalation in the Escalation system, searching for Tay Vanis, who has secret plans stolen from the Empire. Tay has learned his homeworld of Telfree in the same system was destroyed by Imperials, rendering the surface of the planet uninhabitable. Additionally, the Imperials had established a base on Escalation's twin planet, Gamondar, and enslaved the population. When the Imperial governor of Gamondar, Admiral Tower, learned the rebels are on Escalation, he sends a missile to the planet, destroying the only city pavilion. Fortunately, the Empire is unable to tighten its grip on the galaxy further because it falls after Luke and Vader defeat Emperor Palpatine and the Rebel Alliance destroys the second Death Star. Conclusion. Marvel does depict the Empire as evil in the expanded universe, but they clearly tempered their portrayal to appeal to a broad audience which is in line with the movies. George Lucas's Star Wars is a tale of good versus evil, but aimed at a younger audience. The Imperial villains introduced in the title are comical, even though the action they take are very serious. I feel Marvel's most sincere take on the immorality of the Galactic Empire was fairly early in their run with Star Wars No. 30 when we visit Mandalore, an Imperial factory world. It is a chilling depiction of how Imperials treat a population on a planet which has resources they need. In a way, it is a logical escalation from the Empire fighting a fledgling rebellion in Andor to a full-blown war with an alliance that has just destroyed the planet-killing Death Star. Andor reminds me a bit of Dark Empire. Dark Empire has been lauded as a mature take on Star Wars in comics, and Andor is definitely a mature take on the material in live action. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe so I can bring you more content, and please leave a comment below.